my name is H.A.Pruitt, and I am the author of Anelthalien. And today I have with me
S.J.Pruitt.
My husband.
Scott.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask him some questions, and I'm going to talk about the second book, the book that comes after Anelthalien. So I'm going to ask him some questions because I'm not ready to reveal a whole bunch of stuff yet, but I'm excited about the book, and I know a couple other people are excited about the book, so I want to start giving a little bit away. But with my husband's answers, he'll be able to tell a little bit, but not everything I would tell. So,
I've read the book.
He has read the book.
I'm on book 3.
He's on book 3, and you are jealous. I'm sorry. He's not.
No.
So, here are some questions. The title of the second book, do you remember what it is?
Yes.
What is it?
Earthquaking.
Yes, the second book is going to be called Earthquaking. And so, do you think the title Earthquaking fits the story?
Definitely.
Definitely. That's all we'll say. So, did you like the first book, Anelthalien?
Yes.
Why did you like the first book, Anelthalien? You can say as much as you want about the first book.
I'm not really a fiction person, and the story was one that I wanted to keep going back to. And what I really loved was I always do read with my imagination when I read, and so the pictures are incredibly vibrant, and you can see everything the book talks about. If you have one of those imaginations, you can just picture the throne room at the beginning, you can picture Tad laying on his bed, you can picture all those things with no problem.
So the imagery is really good in book 1. I've had a lot of people say that. So did you like the second book? Did you like Earthquaking?
Yes.
Yes. And why?
Because it's where you find out that secretly... No, I can't tell that.
No. Was there good imagery? Were the characters good? What about it was...
The action ramps up. A lot more happens that you're like...
So would you say there's like suspense?
They're in the dark. A lot. Some.
So did you like the second book better than the first book?
Yes and no. So the second book is got a lot more action. You're familiar with the characters already. You feel good about the 4 main characters, and you want to know what's happening with their adventure. And you get to see them in action. And I really like that. The first book, I really love the character development out of that. I love what happens as they start to learn what their purpose is, and as they start to prepare for that purpose, and even as you get to learn a little bit of their backstory and figure out who they are outside of the realm of Anelthalien, I really enjoy all that. And so I don't know that I can say I like one better than the other. I like different aspects of both better than I like in others.
So they're both really good.
Yes.
Yay, that's awesome. So I didn't pay him or make him answer these questions, just so you know. These are genuine answers. He doesn't know the questions yet. So what genre would you put Anelthalien and Earthquaking in? I have labeled it a young adult fantasy fiction novel because that's what the author people have told me. But you, just as a reader, what would you say it fits into? Or what ages and groups would like these books?
I don't know what I would put it into. I know it's fantasy fiction, but I don't know that young adult really captures it because, you know, I think, like, I've only talked to one person that was not drawn to that, and they were drawn to Amish romance novels. So otherwise, I think everybody loves it. I think it appeals to everybody. The story is so well written that it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. Everybody loves a good story that transports you away, and I think definitely Anelthalien does that.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. So, okay, so this one, describe your favorite part of book 2 without using any specific details. So don't use like names or places, but describe your favorite part. You know, kind of when you're describing a TV show to somebody and you're like, that guy did that thing in that place. Kind of like that. Describe your favorite part.
That guy did that thing in that place.
Is that it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
That part was okay. I wouldn't. So, I don't know about my favorite part. But I know the part that has left me wondering over and over and over again happens when one of the characters comes from seemingly nowhere to help one of the other characters, and they come there with some equipment that they shouldn't have, and we don't know yet why. And so ever since finishing the second book, that's been the thought that's been in my head is, well, what's happened?
I'm going to have to ask you about that later because I'm not sure what that is, but that really makes me want to know what it is. So, that sounds like a good part though. So, the next question is a little more serious, but still good. The spiritual lessons in the book, because it is a Christian fiction book, and there's definitely heavy influences of teaching about God. And so what was the spiritual lesson you took out of the first book? Like a big thing that really taught you something or resonated with you?
I think the first book is mostly about teaching that you have a purpose and that we all have to be willing to listen to our Maker to find our purpose, and that without our purpose, it seems like life is just pointless. And we just do our own little things, but they don't really matter. Once you have your purpose, once you understand what that purpose plays out like in a daily basis, then things start to click. And I think that's what the first book talks about.
So what about in the second book? What kind of spiritual lessons were in the second book that really resonated with you?
Community. I think that's something that we as believers undervalue, is what that community looks like. You know, we talk about you need a church, but it doesn't matter if you go to the same church. Just go to whatever church every week. Go and do what you like, this program over there, go do that program. But this book talks about the importance of growing together. In this point, those four main characters growing together and learning to balance off of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and learning to encourage each other. And I think that's the message that speaks to believers, is we aren't supposed to just bounce wherever. We're not supposed to just move from group to group to group and try and fit in and just take whatever aspect we like. Community happens when you're with each other, whether things are really, really good or you can't stand each other, but you know there's a purpose for you being together.
That's awesome. That wasn't the one I got, so it's really cool to see somebody else getting something different out of the book that I get a different spiritual lesson out of. It's really cool to hear that. So, how was the ending of book 2? How did it feel you leaving? No, seriously. How did it feel you leaving?
I didn't think she would let me say that otherwise. Oh, I'm on book 3 now, and there's so much that happens. I'm trying to remember how book 2 ends.
Okay, book 2 ends when that thing happens, and then they're at that place, and they're like, oh man, and then it's right before that other person comes in, and they say that thing. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Book 2 ends with you feeling anxious because something has just happened, some danger has just come about, and you don't know if it's safe. And then somebody shows up and you just don't know. You're left with so many questions about, are your 4 characters going to be okay?
And so that's why we had to keep reading book 3 out of the notebooks. I didn't even type book 3 yet. It's just in the notebooks, but I can read it to him because I can. And so the last question. Anything else you want to say about book 2 to help people feel excited about it, or just tell what you liked about it? Anything else about book 2 of the Anelthalien series?
Yeah, I think if enough of you guys that are watching this, provide the feedback you need, maybe we can convince H.A.Pruitt to put a rhino in it. No?
No rhinos.
No rhinos.
No rhinos.
Don't even, just shut the video off. It doesn't matter then.
Okay.
No, book 2, by the time you get to book 2, if you think you read through book 1 and you were upset because there's all these loose ends that you don't know what's going on, book 2 is going to come in and it's going to take those loose ends that you didn't know about, and it's going to fray them and make them looser and make them feel like you have no clue whatsoever is going on. And you're going to want to know all these answers. And book 2 doesn't give you a single one of them. But you can't wait to get to book 3.
Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it. I know Kendall's brain is like crazy everywhere, and so
Kendall's brain is literally H.A.Pruitt's brain.
My brain, yeah. So it's a really awesome book, and thank you for answering my questions. See you next time. Hi, if you want to know more about Anelthalien, please follow me on Instagram, check out my Facebook page, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or visit my website at HAPruitt.com. Thanks for watching! So I'm going to say, hello, my name is H.A.Pruitt and I'm the author of Anelthalien, and you're going to say whatever you... You're gonna introduce yourself, okay? You're gonna introduce yourself. Hello, my name is H.A.Pruitt, and I am the author of Anelthalien, and I have with me... No! Start over! Hello, my name is H.A.Pruitt, and I am the author of Anelthalien. Okay, I'll say I have with me this time, okay? Hello, my name is H.A.Pruitt, and I am the author of Anelthalien, and today I have with me...